Hello, Year 8. So your topic for this round of remote learning is electricity. Now, electricity is something that you will have learnt about briefly in Year 7. It's a topic that you were doing just as we went into lockdown last year. So for that reason, we've decided that it'd be really good for you to do a little recap of it, just because it's a topic that we come back to in Year 8 and then again at GCSE. So we want to make sure that you're really secure in the knowledge that you have about electricity, so that you're ready to get even more knowledge about it in Year 8. Okay, so any slide that's pink is something that you have to do and something that you have to hand in as an assignment on Teams or complete on paper if you've got a printed copy. The tasks for this lesson are below, so it shows you which type of task is which slide as well. So when you've read this slide and you fully understand the instructions, you can change over to the next slide or just let the video play if you're watching as a video. But remember, you can always ask your teacher for help if you need them. Okay, so your connect activity for this lesson is you've got two pictures on the slide. One is a cell, an animal cell, and one you probably would call it a battery. At home I would call it a battery too. But in science lessons we call them cells. So can you think of any similarities or differences between these cells? So pause the video and have a think. Okay, so hopefully you had some ideas about if they're different or similar. For me, one's obviously something that's biological. It's not made from things like metal or acids like the battery or the battery cell is. One thing that's similar is that they both transfer energy. So you've got mitochondria in an animal cell that transfer energy from respiration, and then obviously the battery cell transfers energy from electricity. So that's something that's similar and something that's different. Okay, so what are circuits? So again, this should be a really good recap for you. Hopefully you remember this. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. And we'll make sure that you're secure in it by the end of this episode of learning. So circuits allow electricity to flow when they're complete. So that means when there's no gaps. We can represent circuits using symbols and diagrams. This is something that's really important and something we're going to come back to. Each component can be represented by a different symbol. Okay, so the circuits can get really, really complicated. So this is the most complicated circuit I could find on Google, and it looks really complicated. I don't think I could build that, but I bet an electrician could probably look at it and definitely build it. If I'd drawn that using like drawings of bulbs, if the person who drawn it had not used a ruler, and if it was unclear, then nobody would be able to recreate that circuit. So they get really complicated, so it's really important. So if you've got two drawings of bulbs there, if we think about which one is most useful, the drawing would look completely different depending on who's drawn it. So I could draw a picture of a bulb and it might look totally different to a bulb that you've drawn. But we need everyone to know that what we've drawn is a bulb. So we use this symbol for a bulb because it's always the same and it's simple to draw. So no matter where you are in the world, what language you speak, everyone's going to know that that is a bulb. Okay, so these are the symbols that you guys need to know going into Year 8 and going into GCSE. There's a few more we had at GCSE, but not too many. So what I've done on this slide for you is I've just shown you the symbol, shown you the picture, and I've just explained what each one does. So I suggest pausing the video here and having a read of what each one does, making sure that you understand that. If there's something that you're really not sure, like, oh, I really don't understand what a resistor does, make sure that you ask your teacher that so they can explain it further. Okay, so this is a pink slide, so it's something you have to do. So you've got a task booklet that's been uploaded as an assignment or printed for you, and it looks like the picture on this slide. So you need to complete tasks 1 to 3 in the booklet now. When you've done that, come back to the video. Okay, so hopefully you did the task booklet. Hopefully you got an okay with that. So we're going to look at how you draw a circuit now. So there's two types of circuit that we can draw, series and parallel. So we're going to look at an example for both. So a series circuit example is just all in the same loop. Okay, so the picture of the circuit on the left has a battery and 3 bulbs. Not very clear, not very neat. We don't want to be drawing them like that. But the one on the right, where it's a nice, neat, like rectangle, that's what we want to see. So you've got the correct symbols that have been used, the wires all meet at right angles, and the person's used a ruler and pencil. That's really important. A parallel circuit is in multiple loops, so it might not be two, it might be more, it's just more than one, okay? And we have different components on different branches. A ruler and pencil have been used again. The wires still meet at right angles, so it's a square or a rectangle, and the correct symbols have been used. Right, if we've been through that now, what we want you to do is have a go at drawing some circuits yourself. So you need to complete task 4 in the booklet, and it's either been printed or set as an assignment. You can either do them on paper, so you could do them on paper and then upload a photo of your work, which is really easy to do if you've got the Teams app on your phone, or if you're using a laptop, that's absolutely fine. If you'd rather do them on the computer and you feel confident doing that, then that's also fine. Okay, so your connect question for next lesson, have a think about this going forward into the next science lesson you have this week. How would your life be different without electricity? Okay, I'll see you next time.